And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original series, Daybreak. Navigating a post apocalyptic world full of zombies and Mad Max style gangs, a teenage outcast searches for his love. So, I wasn't sure what to expect when Netflix gave me the 10 episodes that are about 45 minutes each. Actually, the first two episodes, as I started watching them, I found quite irritating because the protagonist, well, he wasn't the most likable, and I thought this was just going to be your typical rom-com teenage angst series, and there were these characters that, you have the protagonist that just wants to go and find his long-lost love in this post-apocalyptic world, and then you have somebody that has watched too much Mad Max, and so the writers have gone, I know, let's do a teenage kind of rom-com with like mutated creatures and kids that now have to live in a world because all the parents have turned into what they call ghouls. So it's not The Walking Dead, but it is their version, I guess, of a zombie type thing. And yeah, so the first couple of episodes, I really struggled to engage. But once the storyline started getting into the grittiness of what they were actually trying to show you, I started really finding this very entertaining. And I have to say, the prosthetic work, the realistic prosthetic work for the special effects makeup is some of the best I've seen in TV. You don't see it too often, but when they do it, it's really entertaining to watch. There was this one moment with one of my favorite characters, which is a lady witch type character, where she opens up her mouth and you see someone stick their hand down it because they have to get it because she's trying to fight off this Ghoulies infection. And without going into any spoilers, she is one of probably my most favorite character. Don't know where she's going. She is probably my most favorite character in this series because of how great her presence is on screen. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but when you see her, you just want more from her. And I would say that's what carried this story for the first few episodes for me, is when you have the adults on screen. And one of those adults that is playing the principal here is Matthew Broderick, who plays the principal, and it's very Ferris Bueller. The nods are sometimes very much in your face. The characters speak directly. They break the fourth wall constantly. But I was so happy when I found out that the narration going from the breaking the fourth wall wasn't going to be from this main protagonist, from this Josh character that we had at the first episode. Instead, it develops the other characters by doing the same thing it did with the main protagonist, Josh, with the other characters. So then you have this girl who is a pyromaniac, who is brilliant, and you get to see her story in the same way as they did with Josh's, and that follows this path like a narrative structure as you get to follow these characters. And I like that. At the same time, it jumps back to before the post-apocalyptic world, and you get to see them how they were before, and you get to see what makes them tick. And I think this is quite a clever structure of dealing with a way to show you how your characters are linked and how your characters just are kind of define themselves. What I really like about this series, though, is as you get into the later episodes, it really starts asking questions like, what is your identity? What do you identify as? Who are you if you don't have your parents around, or if there's no one to guide you? If you have to survive in a post-apocalyptic world, what do you become? And it makes you ask all these questions, and it gets quite deep, but without being really deep, if that makes any sense at all, because you are in this post-apocalyptic world. It is a series that knows exactly what it is. It's fun, it's got mutants, it has ghoulish things, there are all these new sex cliques, I guess, like you get in high school, but they are now running things in their city. At the same time, it's quite frustrating because it never answers any of the questions about how or why there are no more parents that have their mind right in their head. Why have they become these ghoulish things? Why are the kids the only one not expected? There's very few answers had until you get right into the last few episodes, when it does start asking those questions and answering those questions. And I think this is great because it keeps you hooked. One of the best things about this series is how it starts. They're very brave creatively. Some of the episodes, the kids can't hear, so they go all dialogue heavy with scripting on the screen, which is brilliant. There are musical numbers, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, apparently I'm being very loud. And so each creativity bit with each episode, you're really kind of looking forward to what they're going to do next. I wasn't expecting to like this series as much as I did in the end. As I said at the beginning, I was quite irritated, and I'm sure this series is going to be quite Marmite. There are going to be people that say this series is just wokeness. This is our stage where we're living now in society, because they do identify things that are relevant now in society. The way the kids talk, I'll say kids, late teens, early 20s, the way they talk, the way the language and structure of the series is set up, its demographic is definitely for late teens, early 20s. But at the same time, I think there will be people that really enjoy this. I am late 30s, 40, and I still really enjoyed this. I thought it was really great. And in the end, and I'm looking forward to season 2 or 3. I'm hoping that we do get more. I think this is interesting. You need to give it time. You need to allow it time to develop in your minds, rather than just switching it off and saying, no, this is rubbish, this is too much. This is a show that knows what it is. When you see the trailer, that's what you get. But there is some heart underneath it, and if you allow the characters to develop and give yourself some time to be sucked into those characters, I think you will have a lot of fun watching this. Don't take it too seriously, but at the same time, don't be surprised if you find yourself drawn into these characters. And thank you to my wonderful wife, who dressed up as one of my favorite characters in the show. As you can see, we've done our best to try and make this review quite fun and not just bubbly heads. If you like our channel and you want to see more behind the scenes fun stuff that we do, short films that aren't great but a lot of fun, then you're welcome to check out where you can join our subscription feed. But most of all, thank you so much for joining this. Let me know in the comments below whether you like this series that's dropped today, or whether you thought it was rubbish. Thank you so much for watching this review. Until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.